Well, this Wake Forest NC State game last weekend was a fun game to watch, but it pretty much also determined who controls that division. It was going to swing heavily in NC State's favor if they won. Wake won at 45-42, so they've got like an 80% chance of winning the division at this point. So for Clemson to win it, of course, Clemson's got to win out. Wake Forest has to lose the other game against Boston College, and NC State's got to drop one of these last two games against Syracuse and North Carolina. So that's a lot there, but it's possible.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably unlikely, but I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. I mean, I could easily see Clemson beating Wake Forest this weekend. Definitely wouldn't shock me. I mean, I could easily see Wake Forest getting beat up in Boston College in that season finale. You know, it's going to be cold up there. If Boston College has got their quarterback back, that's a different football team with him. They're much better. I mean, I could easily see Wake Forest going up there and losing that football game. The question is, you know, will North Carolina State drop one? I mean, does anybody think Syracuse is going to beat North Carolina State? I certainly don't. North Carolina is possible, I guess. I mean, rivalry game, you never know. You never know what might happen. You never know which North Carolina team is going to show up. You know, I mean, like I said, it's definitely possible. But, I mean, if you don't beat Wake Forest, none of it matters anyways. First and foremost, you got to beat Wake Forest. And as banged up as this Clemson team is, and that offense that Wake runs, you know, with so many option principles in it, after I saw what Clemson's defense looked like against Louisville when they were running that offense with so many option principles in it, I'm just not very confident in this Clemson team's ability to win this weekend. Let's put it like that.
All right. Vegas says 3.5 to 4.5 points. That's what I was just searching for. So Vegas says 3.5 to 4.5 points. Clemson, the favorite at home. That's about what I expected there. That makes sense.
Yeah, that didn't surprise me a whole lot either. The biggest thing with me is the quarterback. You know, I just don't see Clemson's offense being able to do a whole lot if the quarterback can't be a part of the run game. And I don't think DJ rushed the ball one time against UConn, and Clemson couldn't run the ball against UConn. And, you know, they given up 200 yards rushing a game. Clemson couldn't run the ball at all on them. Granted, you know, Phil Maffa made his first career start. Kobe Pace and Will Shipley were both out. And like I said, you got, you know, Will Putnam was out too. He's a big part of that interior of that offensive line. But still, if you play in your third, fourth string offensive lineman, you still got to be able to run against UConn, and they couldn't do it. And everybody knew that anybody that was in that stadium knew DJ wasn't going to run the ball. I mean, he just did not look like he was capable of doing it. He just didn't look very mobile back there on that knee. And I'm not sure 1 week's going to make all that much of a difference.
Wake Forest has one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the country, Sam Hartman. They can really score it. He actually didn't even play well against NC State, but he still threw 3 touchdown passes. But he was off his game. You don't expect that 2 weeks in a row out of him. The Clemson defense is elite when healthy. Do you think some of these injuries have taken their toll?
Yeah, I definitely do, especially along the interior of the defensive line. You know, Brian Bressee's out all season. Tyler Davis is back, but, you know, the guy, you know, Trey Williams has been playing hurt all season long. He's going to need surgery after the season, one of the backup defensive tackles, redshirt freshman, and he's been phenomenal. I mean, what he's played through this year and the level that he's played at, I mean, it's been unbelievable. But he's still playing hurt. And to me, that's the key to this game outside of, you know, the quarterback play is, can Clemson's defensive line, you know, create enough havoc to keep that Wake Forest offense off balance? I think that'll, on top of, you know, how well DJ plays, I think that'll be the deciding factor in the game. Wake likes to rely a lot on that, you know, slow, develop, and mesh play. It's not had a lot of success against Clemson in the past. They don't use it quite as much this year, but they still use it. And that's just something Clemson's going to have to blow those kind of plays up if they want to win this football game. I think it's going to rely heavily on how well the defense plays, no doubt about it.
You know what they like to do is that they'll have a quarterback draw or what looks like a quarterback draw, and Hartman will take about 3 steps like he's looking for a lane, and then he'll stop behind the line of scrimmage and pop a pass to somebody.
Hey, that's something that you can that's something Clemson's not defended well in the past over the years, but yeah, it's gonna all come down to that defensive, how well that defensive front. You know, even James Kowski got hurt in that game last week against UConn. He was out at the end with ice on his knee. He's expected back. You know, I mean, it wasn't nothing serious, but Clemson's definitely a beat up bunch. Far more, and I think they're far more beat up than what's being reported. I saw a number the other day, like I think 43 of the 85 scholarship players this year have missed at least a game injured. Like I said, you got 25% of the offensive line out for the season, right about that out, and the wide receiver room out for the season. I don't think the quarterback's not healthy. I don't think the backup quarterback's healthy. I mean, it's been a season as far as injuries unlike any I've ever seen.
Yeah, that defensive approach has to be go get Hartman, and if they decide to hand it off, just tackle that running back on the way to going to get the quarterback. You know, don't worry about the run game. Just they'll hand it off once in a while and tackle that guy. But besides that, go put pressure on Hartman, because that's everything, because they are going to sling it. There's no doubt about that.